Hello, welcome back. I'm Charles Showalter. You're listening to the Union Edge and the Working Family Radio Network. Right now, it is with great excitement we get to bring in Barb Toncheff, the Buy American guru, the best person I know to talk about Buy American. Barb, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you, Charles. I'm very happy to be here.
And Barb, who do you have with us today?
Oh, today I'm excited. I've got two people from the very popular Okabashi brand shoes. They're 100% made in the USA, guaranteed for 2 years, recyclable, and over 25 million pairs have been sold already. For the first half of the show, I'm delighted to have Kerry Cunningham. He's the Senior Vice President of Okabashi Brands, who's going to tell us all about the history of this great company. And the second half, I'm going to hear from Brad Laporte, Vice President of Manufacturing, who will be telling us all about their focus on product recycling. So for now, let's talk to Kerry. Thank you for coming on, Kerry.
Thanks so much, Barb. It's a pleasure to be here. Quite a privilege for us.
It's a pleasure for us. Just first of all, can you tell us a little bit about the founder of Okabashi Sandals and what he's told you inspired him to make his sandals in Buford, Georgia?
Certainly. Here, the owner of our company is an entrepreneur, and he definitely saw the value in American-made manufacturing. And you wouldn't know it now, but Buford, Georgia was actually well known as a shoe manufacturing city in the earlier part of the 19th century. Through the 19th century, there used to be a large tannery here, leather operations. In fact, it's interesting. One of their prime products, they made saddles. So Roy Rogers and Buffalo Bill and Gene Autry, Bonanza cast members, they all prefer to get their saddles made right here in Buford. So Buford really has this old Americana flavor about it. And interestingly, even had a semi-pro baseball team that the local leather company sponsored, and they were called the Shoemakers. So so Buford has a historic background for making shoes. So that was already on the radar when they were looking to develop property, which at the time the property here was very affordable. Our location it was a convenient hub for distribution, and just based on its shoemaking history, there was already a readily available workforce in the trade. So the decision here to settle the company and manufacture here with 30 years of hindsight was a very good one.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, how has Okabashi grown over the last 28 years, and what have been some of your greatest lessons down there in Buford?
Well, it's grown quite a bit. It's funny if we go back and look at our marketing material from the 1980s. In a way, Okabashi has stayed true to its roots in the quality of the product that we design and that we manufacture here. But what I guess has really changed is the number of customers that we have, because we used to have two customers that would take up primarily 80% of our manufacturing capacity, and now we have about 7,500 customers. So 7,500 wholesalers. When I started working here 7 years ago, we did about 4,000 transactions a year. Now we do about 80,000 transactions per year. So that's an entirely different pace. So we had to adapt. We had to constantly reevaluate our processes. As an American manufacturer, obviously we had margin struggles constantly. So we needed to stay efficient, to stay competitive, and we feel that we've done that. And I would say our greatest lesson is that perseverance pays off because we see things kind of shifting back our way now as far as manufacturing here in the United States and even shoe manufacturing. So a lot of our hard work has paid off for us.
And I thank you for that, because that's really good news. You're going to set, a higher standard now for other manufacturers. If you can do it, they can do it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of your customers, who are your customers?
Well, we sold about 30 million pairs overall, so I guess you could say that our end customer is quite diverse. But the typical customer is someone that is looking for a value proposition, someone that wants comfort footwear that's safe, that's well made, good for the economy. So we definitely cover that. But we also have a niche market for those with foot ailments, such as like plantar fasciitis. We have ones that seek us out for when they have specific foot ailments that they believe helps them significally.
Wow, that's good to hear. I never knew that, because I love mine.
Well, we're glad to hear that.
Yeah, well, where can the customers pick up, a pair of your shoes?
Well, our wholesale customers, it's really reads like a who's who list of retailers. Our Okabashi line, which is our chain and mass line, we sell at Walmart, we sell at CVS, Walgreens. We sell in many catalogs now. We sell to professional sports teams. We're in VA operations. So we are, a flip-flop and a sandal, which typically sells seasonally at a lot of those locations. So if you're not able to find them off-season, you're able to go to one of our two websites. We have an okabashi.com website and an oka-b.com website. And speaking of Okabe, that's our boutique brand, and that sells in over 5,000 boutiques and gift shops and hotels, spas and resorts, Disney, Fairmont, Wynn, Marriott, pretty much all the high-end hotel and spas that you're familiar with. We're in most of them and many of them.
Wow, that's impressive. What do you believe is the key to your success in manufacturing your products here in the USA?
Well, it is a challenge we have to focus on the bottom line. Obviously, that's important. And as an American manufacturer, it's a challenge, especially when you're up against importers that can have lower costs. So we really focused on what we wanted to have a reputation for being a solid quality product. We wanted a product to be safe for our customers. We wanted a product that was safe for the environment. And if we outsourced, we would have risked sacrificing one or more of those core values for us. So we believe that by manufacturing here, we control the process. We know exactly what goes into our shoe. We know how it's made. We make sure that it has the proper quality in it. And the other key, I think, when we actually manufacture it here versus having it outsourced, is we retain all the intellectual property that we develop as a result of manufacturing here. We're constantly working with our vendors, testing new processes, new materials, so we learn. And if that was being done somewhere else, we would fail to harness that intellectual capacity of our workforce,
Sure.
which, as you know, is your greatest resource, are those people that work hard for you and have great ideas that make us a better company.
But what actually makes your sandal line, speaking of quality, the only shoe to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association?
Yes, the only flip-flop sandal that is endorsed by the ACA, and we had to go through a stringent series of tests, and the primary reason that ours are endorsed are because of our footbed. And our footbed has an arch support that you won't find in most flip-flops. And so that structural integrity is what's required by the ACA for its endorsement, as it supports the knees and supports the lower back.
Okay. We're going to be coming up on a break here, Carrie. Before I take the break here, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Sure.
How did you come up, and how can you even afford a 2-year guarantee with only a $20 or less price point?
That's funny because I am the CFO, so I'm a numbers person. I often joke with the owner that is it really necessary that we have a 2-year guarantee on a flip-flop? But truthfully, our return rate is far below industry norms, and so we're happy to stand by that guarantee. And I think our customers appreciate that, and we're happy to do it.
Okay, well, that's wonderful, Carrie. I really enjoyed talking with you. Folks, we need to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll be talking some more with the great people of Okabashi Sandals on the Buy American Talk radio show.
The International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 66, works with builders and contractors to build a better community. Local 66's tradesmen and women have received the specialty training needed to meet the complex challenges of any project, making them the most capable workforce in the region. From schools, highways, and pipeline projects to casinos and arenas, the operating engineers build any job, large or small. For over 100 years, Local 66 has provided superior service that our community can count on. They are your one-stop resource for qualified and productive operating engineers and heavy equipment mechanics. To learn more about the benefits of organized labor and more information about the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 66, go to www.iuoe66.org. That's www.iuoe66.org.
It's about the work. Work we're proud of. Work that provides the energy that powers America. Work that means our communities are stronger, better, for our families, our neighbors, for everyone. Just like you, members of the United Mine Workers of America are on the job, every day, working hard. It's what we do, and it makes America a better place. The United Mine Workers of America, working families just like yours.
In times of crisis, first responders are there for us. But who do they rely on? It's the men and women of the Utility Workers Union of America, ensuring our hospitals have reliable electricity, that our communities have a secure water supply, safe gas lines, and other critical services. We're the safest and most skilled workers in the industry. Utility workers, delivering vital services and a brighter future.
You're listening to the Union Edge, Labor's Talk Radio. For more information about the show, go to theunionedge.com.
Hello again, folks. It's Barbara Toncheff, your host of the Buy American Talk Radio Show on the Working Family Radio Network. As I promised earlier, we were talking to two people with the Okabashi sandals brand. So before the break, we were talking to Carrie Cunningham. Now we're going to be talking to Brad Laporte, Vice President of Manufacturing at Okabashi Shoes, who's going to tell us all about their product recycling process. Thank you for being on the show, Brad.
Thanks, Barb. Thanks for having us. Now, I am a manufacturing guy, so you do have to speak a little slower.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You're hearing, huh? Okay. What makes an Okabashi shoe? Tell us.
Well, we like to say it. That's okay. We like to say at Okabashi that we are more than just a shoe. It's actually a whole culture that we based our business around. So we combine unique styles, unmatched comfort, durability, good old-fashioned American ingenuity, all strung together with an environmental conscious backbone. So it's really kind of the basis behind an Okabashi shoe.
Can you explain to the listeners the importance of the design in the Okabashi shoe?
Sure. Our patented design is centered around the ancient science of reflexology. So we're really putting an arch support, a heel cup, toe rest, and overall comfort of the shoe into every design that we put out there. So our design, if you go to any store across the country, you'll be able to recognize an Okabashi shoe by the unique design that's on every Okabashi part.
Including those little bumps at the bottom. I love those little massagers.
Right, the massage beads.
Yes. How many styles and colors do you offer?
Well, I know Carrie touched a little bit on the different brands that we have. We have currently over 6,000 SKUs that we produce yearly. Okabashi, like Carrie said, Okabe. And now we actually have learned there is a lot of, interest in our private label program, where our private label has, we're learning we're really good at making shoes. We're really good at making shoes here in the United States. Other companies are making shoes in other places. They're coming to us saying, hey, can you build shoes for us? Well, yeah, absolutely. We're all on board with that.
Well, so am I, and I believe most of the American consumers are too. Because
absolutely.
I got to tell you, those made in China shoes, they're junk. You're just throwing your money away. Might as well just throw your money right in a fire because they're going to last like 3 times and they're going to hurt your feet.
You're right.
And yours also too. I understand their dishwasher safe. I mean, how clean is that?
Now, they're dishwasher safe, and like you had talked about, the imports coming from overseas. We've realized recently that we've gotten really good at making shoes. We've gotten really good at cutting our costs out, creating short lead times to our customers. A lot of things that our customers are looking for that they can't get by buying stuff from overseas.
Plus, I know that you're saving the environment, too. All the shipping and all that fossil fuel burn that's going into the air and the ocean disturbances when you've got those big tankers going back and forth. So that's really...
Right. An interesting fact is the average import shoe travels over 11,000 miles to get to the customer here in the United States. The average Okabashi travels 700.
That's beautiful. And speaking of the environment, explain how Okabashi has a zero-waste facility.
Right. So what we try to do, like being more than just a shoe, we're really talking about what our footprint and our effect on the environment is. So every waste stream within our facility, pre and post consumer, is analyzed and reduced in many instances to zero. So no matter if it's cardboard, processed waste, the lighting that we used, even down to the soda cans that we drink in our lunch, all of those waste streams are recycled.
Wow, that's impressive.
Can
you take us through this recycling process? I mean, how does this work?
Sure. So we have, in the instance of process waste, we have process waste while we're making the products that we have little pieces of waste during that actual shoemaking process. We've designed a material in a recycling process around that where we can actually take that process waste, combine it with fresh new material at a very specific weight or proportion that we can actually turn that into brand new material and brand new shoes.
You know, if one wants to recycle their Okabashi shoe, how would they go about doing that?
Sure, you can. Our shoes are recycle number 3, so some cities have that pickup. Some cities require you to go to the recycling center and put the products in with that. We've actually started a program with Whole Foods here in the Southeast where you can actually take your shoes back to the store where you bought them. So you've had Okabashis for 10 years and want a fresh color or a fresh pair. You can take them back to the store, give them to that store manager. They have a box there in the store, and we'll go pick them up. We'll bring them back to the plant. We'll clean them up. We'll regrind and recycle the material and put them into brand new Okabashis.
Yeah, and it's also my understanding, Brad, that everything that goes into the Okabashi shoe is 100% made in the USA, too. Is that not true?
Absolutely. All of our raw materials are either built in South Carolina or Ohio, and we bring them all domestic in all our materials. You're absolutely right, Barb.
That's important, too, because there's a lot of things that are like assembled here, actually right from the very beginning. What is the future for Okabashi?
Well, it's pretty simple. There's 7 billion people out there. Everybody has at least 1 foot. So we're the possibilities for us are endless. The sky's wide open for us.
I've got a couple minutes left here.
Sure.
I didn't get a chance to ask Carrie this question. Maybe you can answer it. The word got out that you were expanding your private label division. How did this come about, and what can we expect in the future?
Well, it's kind of so. My hope is that and when we started private label, it's kind of what we were thinking when we did it. Hopefully, there's other companies out there in other industries or even in the shoe industry that have the same backbone or the same culture that we have. They want to build product. They want to build product with American hands. They want to build product that's environmentally sustainable. And it just so happens there are a lot of those companies. So we've been able to partnership with a lot of those companies and start building products for them. And we started this initiative less than a year ago. We're already producing products for other major brands out of our facility.
Oh, wow. We only have a few minutes left here.
Sure.
Is there any last words? Well, first of all, why don't you just give us the name of your website again?
Sure. We have 2 different websites. It's www.okabashi.com, OKABASHI. And then we have our boutique line, which is okabe.com, www.oka-b.com.
And those are different types of sandals that are available that would normally be sold in the boutiques, but then someone can order them online instead.
Right. We have direct-to-consumer. We actually, in most cases, we've gotten very lean, and our base is around lean manufacturing and elimination of waste. We're actually able to ship from the websites within 48 hours.
Oh, wow, that sounds wonderful. I'm sure your customer service has to be good, too, because it's based in Buford, Georgia. There'll be no accents or foreign people taking care of the customers, which I think is another blessing, and a lot of Americans are getting really fed up with. If the customer service isn't here, that doesn't help either.
You're right. You're right. You don't have to call us and end up talking to a call center in India or whatnot. You're actually, and that's a lot of our private label customers enjoy too. We have all of our engineering on site. We have our own product design on site. We have our own customer service on site. Customer service, if you call in with a problem or a question, they're actually literally 50 feet from our manufacturing floor.
Oh, that is awesome. And that is so rare nowadays. And I really hope that you set a new standard and the other companies now start to challenge themselves and see what you've done down there in Beaufort, Georgia. That is just so impressive, you know. Everybody tends to sometimes think the manufacturing is up north or whatever. This is amazing. Any last words you'd like to share with the listeners before we go?
Sure, absolutely. You know, obviously, during tough economic times, we really want America to prosper and grow. The only way to do that is through entrepreneurship, like our owner, and millions of other entrepreneurs out there, is to bring it back to the United States. Start producing products here. Less importing and more manufacturing creates more jobs, creates more purchasing power for the consumers, and it leads to a better economy.
You know what, and I believe it also leads to safer products for the consumers as well.
Absolutely.
So we've just about run out of time here. I'd like to really thank you, Mr. Laporte, for coming on the show, and I'd like to thank Mr. Cunningham. And I'm your host, Barbara Toncheff, and thank you for listening to the Buy American Talk Show, only on the Working Family Radio Network.